back to Everything Anime Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Shinry, here at the Everything Anime Podcast. I'm from anime, manga, video games, TV shows, whatever relevant topic we're talking about. Today's video is on Dr. Stone, chapters 153 to 155, I think. I'm calling it The Mentor. Now, when we last left off in Dr. Stone, I know Gin had been... he willingly went into the enemy's base to, find out what he could, and Dr. Zeno and Stanley Snyder were interrogating them to find out what information they had, and Gin tried to throw them off by saying that Taiju was the leader of the group, he was a scientist, and Zeno was kind of suspicious about it, but overall, they sent Stanley Snyder back in to try to take out Taiju, I think, and then he doesn't know that it's Senku yet. And then they're talking about turning our ship into an aircraft carrier so we can have a dogfight in the air. Yeah, that's what I think happened. Because I don't think he knows about Senku yet. I think that's said later in this chapter. Anyways, so when the chapter opens up, Magma is out for blood, and for some reason I thought he was going to be a pilot, even though we have Ryusei right there. It's just like, I don't know, Magma with his killing bloodless thing, he's the only one that talks about killing in all of our Kingdom of Science. Even Tsukasa, Aryoku stopped talking like that, unless it's like someone they really got to stop. But even then, I don't think they're going to kill anybody. Like, Helga didn't kill mods. And Tsukasa, he did try to kill Senku, but he did feel bad about it. Because he didn't want the world to go back to the way it's currently going to become. But his mindset has changed. But yeah, I thought Magma would be our pilot, but no, that doesn't make sense happen. Anyways, he, Mantle, and Yell prepare to go use the gun and to try to kill Dr. Zeno. But of course, hilariously, all three of them are stopped by Nikki. I think she kicks him in the nuts or something like that. And obviously, Yo being the corrupt cop, he's with it. Mantle's like his little subordinate. And then Magma, because he's fucking crazy, he's like, yeah, we'll get rid of him. We'll just kill the guy. Easy said and done. If he's like you, Senku, he can't fight. Obviously, Stanley Snyder is his henchman, and I can take on that guy. Just Magma, you're fucking ridiculous, but we love you. We then build a war board thanks to the manga artist, who I'm sure is the author, as I said before, of this manga. He just drew himself in there. If you read the Shinry series, the last book is called If Two Worlds Collide. I put my own self in the Shinry series, so it's just a way to incorporate us into our story with our characters. But I think it's pretty cool if that is him. It's not confirmed. I'm just assuming. But they determine through his sketch where the enemy is and an assumption about what they would do next. And basically they're like, okay, we're gonna build an aircraft carrier battleship, which we already knew from the last chapter, but it's still insane. Just they're doing this on the fly, you know what I mean? We're already on the ship, and we do have the plane that Stanley Snyder we disabled with that oil or whatever the fuck it was. It corrodes engines. And then, now all they do is just turn this to an airway, get that plane up and running, and then we're in for a dogfight. Tsukasa asks Hyoga what would he do in this situation, and he says he'd make the pirate ship. He'd make a pirate ship and board the Perseus to take it over, which would take time. Obviously, he's basically, I would create my own ship and then just take over y'all. It's basically what he said, a pirate, pillage, control, tie y'all up, all that. But obviously, as Hyoga said, they need time to do that. Obviously, we don't know if Zeno is going to build a ship, but they already got a second plane. We have one of their planes, but that plane's corroded. The engine's corroded. It's going to take a while to make a new engine. So basically, Hyoga's if I was the enemy, I'm gonna need some time to get my stuff together, but I would ultimately take over y'all's cargo, your ship, all the scientific weapons and materials y'all made. I'll take over all of that. Now, if you're wondering why they just don't turn, tail, and run, or why they would, when they had that kind of time, knowing that Stanley Snyder's not going to attack them, knowing Dr. Zeno's not going to attack them automatically, it's because Dr. Zeno knows they have nowhere to run. Even if they wanted to run, Dr. Zeno, they have a plane. They're going to find you. The fact that he showed them a second plane was to discourage them from escaping anyway, which Raisa quickly deduced, and I thought as well. I was like, even if you try to escape by boat, that plane's going to catch up to you. Obviously, a plane is faster than a boat. And so even if you try to escape, they're going to take you out. So you got to face the enemy regardless. This is like one of those, like, I mean, all of our enemies have been optional, but we had to, like, take them down and take over their kingdom for some reason. In the Kingdom of Stone, you know, we needed more people. We needed to get the control of the Miracle Cave. And what was our called? The Kingdom of Petrification, we had to get our hands on a Medusa weapon and free those people. And now in the Kingdom of Science in North America, we need to get our hands on corn so we can create limitless survival fluid and bring back enough people to create I said an airplane. A goddamn space shuttle to get into space, to get to the moon, to face the Wild Man and find out who he is and why he did all this. We also then meet a new character, but we don't learn their name immediately. But I gauge that she's their physical fighter. I think this is on Dr. Zeno's team. This is where we start seeing like there's more than Dr. Zeno, and Stanley Snyder. There's like other people in the Kingdom of North America. We also learned that Dr. Zeno's main focus is killing our scientist Senku, Dr. Taiju, because yes, at this point he doesn't know that Senku is alive. And we learned this chapter that he does have a relationship with Senku. Like, he knows who Senku is directly. But since the facade that Gen in the Kingdom of Science is playing that Dr. Taiju is the scientist, he's like, oh, I'm out for blood. I'm out to kill him. Gen asks how they plan to do it, and Stanley Snyder simply replies, I can do it. And that's all he says. We know that he's a military man. We know that he's got like experience in combat. He had no problem killing. He had no problem using a machine gun on children. So obviously, like, he doesn't care. He's like, I'll take care of it. Don't worry about it. It's like when Tsukasa woke up and they were like, what do we do if there's enemies on the moon? Tsukasa's like, I'll take care of it. They're like, but what if... He's like, I'll take care of it. Stanley Snyder didn't have to even say it twice. He said it once, and Gen knew. Meanwhile, in our Kingdom of Science, our plan is to capture Dr. Zeno and hold him hostage because our motto is still not to kill. So even though Dr. Zeno is out to kill us and Stanley Snyder is out to kill us, we want to capture Dr. Zeno and hold him hostage, so the rest of the Kingdom of Science, Stanley Snyder is going to back off. We'll make it seem like we're going to kill him, but obviously that's not our intention. We just need to take over y'all, even if we got to petrify y'all with Medusa weapons somehow. I'm not saying that's what they do. I'm just saying even if we got to do that, we'll do that, get you out the way. Because as far as I know, we didn't bring back Urabara. I don't think we bring back Urabara. We're going to leave his ass a stone for a while. And then when prisons come back, well, we'll bring his ass out. So the capture team that's going to capture Dr. Zeno consists of Tsukasa, the muscle, obviously the strongest warrior, Yukio for his super hearing because, Yukio, and plus Yukio is a long range shot with his arrows, Hyoga because I'm pretty sure he's backup muscle. He's definitely the second strongest on the team next to Tsukasa. Maybe even Matsukaze, because Tsukasa did take out Matsukaze pretty easily. But we know that Hyuga was Tsukasa's right-hand man. And Sukiya, which I found curious, but she is our elite spy. She can blend in with her watermelon head. Sukiya has done amazing things for this team, but I did think that was curious that she was on the capture Dr. Zeno team. It's an interesting team up for sure, and it's our first Kingdom of Science versus Kingdom of Science battle, which I was very hyped about. So the way this battle is going to be won is who's going to be captured first. Who's going to win first? Is Dr. Zeno going to kill Senku / Dr. Taiji first, or are we going to get our hands on Dr. Zeno first and capture him and hold him hostage? That's basically what it boils down to, this arc. Like, who can capture who first? Battleship, basically. Literally. Who's going to sink the other person's ship first? Now, following this, we meet another new character on the American Scientist team who isn't identified. I think they are identified later. Just at this point in my notes, they're not. We then learn that this woman's name is Luna. I learned something about her later. That's almost said Dr. Luna, but her name is Luna. Meeting two more adults who I'm sure are the final members on their side. I think the black guy's name is Max, and then the white guy's name is Carlos. I might have them swapped. I don't think I do though. But I know that they're in love with Luna, and they'll do anything for her. And that's what I know about them so far. Now, one bad thing, as Chrome would say, is Stanley Snyder is good with all kind of military weapons, including snipers, and he plans to take out Dr. Taiju from a distance. Like, he's like, oh, I'll just get on top of a tree, show me who the scientist is, and he's done. He's dead. Easy said and done. We can see, however, not all people in Dr. Zeno's Kingdom of Science is on board or as evil as he is, because Luna seems pretty reluctant on killing anybody, which I thought was curious. Like, like in the Kingdom of Petrification, Maz, Irabara, and that muscle dude was kind of like on board for killing people, but Kirasame, she kind of did it only because she thought that was the master's will. But once she learned that Irabara was doing this for like selfish purposes, she was like, oh, I'm not about that. And that's why Irabara turned on her. So I do like that, like, not everybody's evil in each one of these arcs. Like, Yukio wasn't evil in the Kingdom of Stone. I think everybody else was. But I know Yukio wasn't for sure. Despite this, he's convinced Luna to board the ship and find out Dr. Taiju after confirming it's him. Stanley's like, I'll take the shot. All I need is 3 seconds. Just point to whoever the doctor is, Luna, and I'll take him out. So their plan is essentially to do what Gen did by infiltrating their base. They're going to send Luna in as like a girl that's like lost or pretend she's like running away from them. And she's like, oh, please help me, because you are kids and you guys are good guys. You'll help her. And then once she gets on board, she'll sniff out who Taiju is. She'll point him to Stanley Snyder and he'll snipe him from a distance. I was like, oh man. And without Gen, our mentalist, to warn everybody out there, like, hey, they're up to something, I was like, they might fall for this. Like, the Kingdom of Science, like, we're not ones to neglect people in help and need. So they could fall for this. Now, the next scene is hilarious. Maz is head over heels over Luna because, of course, he is. I'm surprised Genro wasn't going crazy for her. But we know Maz is like a womanizer. He's all about women. Well, beautiful women specifically, because that's what he told Hyoga. That's why Hyoga and him different. Hyoga was like, I want the strongest people. And then Maz was like, I only want the beautiful people. Beautiful women, beautiful men. Ryusei is skeptical, though, because we know Ryusei loves all women. So the fact that Ryusei is being hesitant should be a clue, because he knows that she has to be on the enemy side. Like, you cannot trick Ryusei. Ryusei, who, again, calls all women beautiful, thinks all women are amazing and wonderful, and he loves every single one of them. He is suspicious of Luna, so... Because, Sanji, if Ryusei was more like Sanji would be all about her regardless if she's an enemy or not. But I think Ryusei is like that, but he's just like, no, this is obviously a trap. But Senku hilariously is the one to offer her help in the most out-of-character way, possibly seeming like he's falling in love with her. And we know that shit don't work on Senku, so we already knew that Senku was like fucking with her. And hilariously, in the last panel, it's confirmed that Senku is using her for information, a spy versus spy battle. He's 10 billion% ready to go up against this other scientist. And I love the other characters' reactions, like they know that Senku's acting out of character. So that shit was just fucking hilarious. I loved it. I loved it so much. I was like, yes, this is the humor I expect of Dr. Stone. As Luna begins her mission to seek out Dr. Taiju, she knows asking outright will reveal that she's a spy, and obviously she's working for Zeno, and she wants to know who Dr. Taiju is, because if she's asking for Dr. Taiju, like, they're like, okay, maybe she's up to something. She has something to take him out. And thankfully, there are a lot of people on our ship, so this will buy us some time. We also learned that she already has a crush on him, despite never having seen his face. Probably because her type are scientists, but I love that she's like, absolutely not when... oh, yeah, she's looking at Magma, like, trying to figure out who the scientist is, and she's like, absolutely not when Magma tries making a cool face at her, which I remember this one panel where, like, Magma shot a gun, and then Gen was like, why do you look so cool in this panel? Just fucking hilarious. But yeah, Luna's type is like scientists. She loves smart people. She loves people with brains. Brainiac types. But she's like, the one she looked at Magma, she's like, oh, you're not a scientist. You're definitely a dumbass. She's like, I already can tell. But it's Yuzu calling Taiju by his name that exposes Taiju. And she hilariously is confused at the sight of Taiju. She's like, he's definitely not my type at all, but she has to trick him to get to the deck of the ship, because I think where Taiju is, he was at the bottom, and obviously as soon as he's gonna snipe him, he has to be up like on the surface of the deck. But yeah, it was hilarious. She's like, "You're the scientist. You're not my type at all." But and Taiju is jacked. Like I'm not into anime characters, but Taiju is a jacked looking dude, and Senku is a skinny looking dude. And she was looking like she was in love when Senku was in front of her. So I guess skinny scientists are her type. No judgment. No judgment. And then in the next panel, Taiju immediately is on the deck of the ship, which I found hilarious. She's like, "Oh, I didn't have to try. He's already on the deck of the ship." So all she has to do now is just point at him, and then Stanley Sandra will take the shot and take him out. But before she can, once again, hilariously, Senku interrupts her with his fake charm. Like, he already knows that Taiju's been exposed because what is her name? I just said her name. I forgot her name. But Taiju's Yuzu. Yuzu said his name. And so Dr. Senku was like, oh, yeah, she's the enemy. And now she knows that Taiju, which one Taiju is. And she thinks she's me. And she's going to try to take him out. So he, like, blocks her. And instead of sneakily asking, instead of, like, her finding out about, like, Taiju, Senku twisted on her. He starts asking about Dr. Zeno directly to her face. Just straight up, which gets a hilarious reaction from the group. They're like, how is he so direct? I'm like, why are y'all surprised at Senku at this point? Senku brought back Hyoga immediately whenever they were cornered by Maz. He immediately revived Ryusei when y'all were talking about, like, don't bring back Ryusei. Like, Senku is all about logic and taking things, like, direct. Senku's not about to waste time. But Francios offers up instead of a straight-up approach to make her feel comfortable at first. And Francios tries to make her, like, more comfortable. She's like, hey, let's take this at a different approach. And she's like, hey, everyone loves ice cream. Who wants some ice cream? And obviously, who doesn't love ice cream? I love ice cream. And as an adult or a child, if somebody says, hey, you want some ice cream? You know you're going to say yes. Ain't nothing better than that sweet frozen dairy, man, let me tell you. Senku goes through an explanation pretty quickly, one that I thought I could try at home, but nope, once again, in the end, we have soft serve ice cream. Like, so Senku explains how to make ice cream. I'll probably show it on the panel or on screen. And I know at one point, I've done it before in, like, French class, who made ice cream from scratch. And one of my friends, Galen, made, like, sea salt ice cream from, like, Kingdom Hearts, or he, like, remade it. So I know it's a thing that people can do at home, but, like, I ain't going to try to explain it. But once again, we get a panel that, like, when Homura ate the cotton candy the first time, we get a panel like that of everybody just freaking out over a taste of ice cream, which, again, I don't blame them. Like, in this new Stone Age, they're not used to sweets like that, like chocolate and this good food that Francios is making. They're used to just, like, fish, fried fish, cut up fish, grilled fish, raw fish. Like, that's what they're used to. They're just used to, like, variants of that fish soup. So getting all this new food is like, it's like a new wonder to them. It's like a baby, introducing a baby to all these new things. Like, you know, because a newborn isn't used to all these different tastes and flavors, and then you introduce it to them and they start loving it. Or you find out what they don't love. Through a small exchange of words, Luna's catchphrase... Through a small exchange of words from Luna, a catchphrase of Zeno's is, that was elegant. Like, that's apparently what, like, Zeno says, like, where Senku is, like, 10 billion%. Zeno's thing is, like, saying elegant. Which Senku deduces that Zeno is a former NASA scientist. Now, I was like, okay, that's pretty dope, because we are trying to build a space shuttle to get to the moon. So Dr. Zeno, being a scientist that specifically worked at NASA, we are definitely going to get him on our team somehow, some way. He is going to be key to getting to the moon. But we have to recruit him, especially if he's our enemy. We just have to figure out how we're going to do that. And to make this even more interesting, Dr. Zeno is the man who inspired Senku to become a scientist. Now, I actually ended my notes there, but this next chapter that we're going to review, it goes through their whole backstory. It's pretty freaking cool. But I'm not going to spoil that. so I can't even speculate. But I do remember getting to this part of the chapter. I was like, what? Our enemy is the one that inspired Senku to become a scientist, and we know how smart Senku is, so this guy has to be above Senku. Either way, guys, this video's getting pretty long, so I want to drag this out. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and let me know what you guys are reading. If you're not reading Dr. Stone, let me know if I've got you into it. Let me know what you think about the story so far. Either way, guys, I'll see you guys in the next one. Talk to you later. Bye. Hey guys, this video was sponsored by me, the author of the Shinry series, the Chronicles of Wayne, and Monsterverse. So I figured I'd do this outro a little bit different by showing you guys what you guys will be checking out. So, the Shinry series starts with Book 1, Shobu Samurai Project Aryoku. 10 years after the death of his parents, Shobu Samurai returns home seeking vengeance, but instead faces the choice to save his home from shadow creatures, blood beasts, and an organization once thought dead. Shinry's Shobu Samurai starts at $9.99. And if you love anime, manga, Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, Yu Yu Hakusho, Fairy Tail, Shaman King, Rave Master, Zatch Bell, anything like that, the Shinry series is definitely the series for you. You'll definitely want to check it out. The Sword of Light is probably the thickest one so far. And then these books are 2. This is Enter the Dread Zone Tournament. And the series original ending, Arado, the Legendary Konjuis Master. So, and I'll just show you guys some of the covers. Really proud of all of these. But I hope you guys check it out. If you don't like that, I also have the current published books for the Chronicles of Wayne, Love Be Damned, Cotton Candy, Full Moons, Fabled Lovers, A Cursed Virgin's Bite. If You Go Where Monsters Dance, Red will Rain Over Your House. Love Be Damned. Now, the Chronicles of Wayne is about a geeky guy, or a nerdy guy in high school. His senior year, he has a crush on the hottest guy in school, because of course he does. He's only got one best friend, and her name is Barb. Well, the hottest guy in school turns out to be a werewolf. And, to make the story more interesting, he bites Wayne and turns Wayne into the first ever wolfman in the last 10 years. And because of that, it was also a sacred law that wolfmen should never be created. I don't want to get into too much of the Chronicles of Wayne without spoiling it, but I can tell you it's very short. This one sells for $6.99, and Love Be Caged right after it. The ending of this trilogy, Love Be Liberated, comes out in October. So I'm going to definitely do a more full in-depth review of this one. But yeah, it's an LGBT fantasy fiction story about werewolves, vampires, white witches, a dark warlock, and, well, many, many more surprises to come. So, if you guys like to read, I definitely recommend. These are all the books so far in the Shinry series, except for Shinry's Beginning. I do have that one, but it's just not here with me. But yeah, I appreciate a like, support, or just a review on Amazon. Either way, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a great day.